But yeah, so this is at Jake Vekked Meyer, and we're gonna go in on this video. You might see these things happen multiple times, um, but I'm really looking for James Hudson. We're gonna wait till I'm gonna send James Hudson a message. But this is the quote, so we're gonna start off with this. This is the quote. Shout out to everybody that's watching. All right, so shout out to everybody who's watching. But we're gonna this is gonna be very very detailed. So this is what Jake just wrote today, 9 hours ago. He said TTM. Let's see. Let me flip the thing. I'll flip it. So he said this. He said this is Jake Vekkmeyer. He says TTM turntable notation is dope. The creator of TTM is a fucking idiot, and he just got himself blocked. I sound like academics. I'm not trying to sound like academics. Um, the story is this. Last October, I throw IDA USA Canada last minute for literally no reason, other than to give people a chance rather than not having a USA Canada rep at all. So let's stop right there, because that's not totally true. Because for the past 2 years, I had been texting DJ Excess, for the past 2 years. I had texted him like, hey, when's IDA happening? I want to compete. And he never responded to me. So this year, I didn't get any response. And then the IDA people, shout out to the Kubiks, like Eric Kubik and all the IDA people, they replied to me, oh, USA IDA is canceled this year. So I was like, oh, it's canceled this year. Okay. So I posted it. I made a post. And we're going to go back to that post. We're going to do all these things step by step so we can really go in. Later in this thing, he says, today, he turns it up more and posts more overtly, insinuating that I am racist. So he's gone, because... So yesterday I said, Jake, so I'm going to read it. So it says, Jake Vekkmeyer, let the debates begin. So I noticed you dissed my work, The Periodic Matrix of Scratches, in an article years ago, and now you love TTM. Please explain. So my homie DJ Chile just released a book using my science, using TTM mathematics, and I think it's a really cool book. And Jake bought a copy of it, and he posted it. So I made a post about his post, like, well, how are you going to diss TTM and diss the creator, who's me, and not and then support TTM when somebody else does it. And he basically saying that I called him a racist, but I didn't call him a racist. I actually just said polarized. We're going to look at this. I said polarized cronyism. So cronyism is we're going to look up cronyism. All right, I'm going to type cronyism. So we're going to find cronyism. CRONYISM. So this is cronyism. So cronyism, the appointment of friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard for their qualifications. So that's what I accused Jake Vekked of yesterday. I accused him of cronyism. I accused him of cronyism because Daniel Ars, or DJ Chili, is my friend, and he's also Daniel's friend. But me and Jake Vekked are not friends. So that's why I said, hey, you're dissing me, and and then you're helping out your friend. So that's called cronyism. So I'm going to read his quote. This is a quote that Jake did. This is a scientific thing. This isn't like clout chasing. This isn't the normal drama. This is all science. This is all mathematics, demographics, different sciences that we're going to be talking about. So this might end up being like a 3-hour lecture or something like that. I have all data to really go in this subject. And it's great that Facebook has provided the tools to be able to, for people to be able to, do this and go live and stuff like that. And have free video. Okay, so I'm going to read what Jake wrote. So a couple years ago, or maybe not a couple years ago, Jake Vekked Meyer, he wrote an article, and we're going to type in periodic matrix of scratches. That's an invention that I made. I'm going to type that in. So periodic matrix of scratches. There we go. Comes up. All right, so we got the period. So when you type it on Google, the first things that comes up is Jake's, Emma and Jake's article dissing. So it says, we're going to click on it. So there's the matrix. So you see the first thing that comes up is, this is what I was talking about yesterday. I was like, so the first thing that comes up yesterday is an article about a creation that I made, one of my inventions. And this is a chart for DJs, for musicians, called the periodic matrix of scratches. Many DJs around the world use this, and it's a form of music notation for DJ music, for those who don't know. So in the article, Vekked writes he says, I've used TTM a bunch as a learning tool over the years, but for me it has always been a tool to explain scratches that you hear in a more efficient way. I don't really see a ton of use in having 1,000 patterns you never heard before and learning them. Like, the possibilities of patterns are literally endless. You can draw a sine wave and just start putting dots all over it and end up with new patterns. I feel like the TTM matrix is trying to replace what people should be doing with their imagination. Being able to create a pattern yourself from scratch, no pun intended, is hugely important. Skills essential for developing a style. Okay, so then we're going to go down here. The idea was first put, let's see. Let me go farther down. So anyways, so let's see. So I'm going to go back to where, because I just took 2 excerpts from his quote. And let's go back to my post from yesterday. Let's get back to the main subject. And the post says this. It says, I truncated it so I don't have to find that quote again. I just don't see much use in something like this personally. I have so many combos and patterns in my head already that aren't refined, that I learned from just freestyling and making stuff up. I don't know why I need a huge page of ideas someone else wrote down. I already have stuff I could practice at any given time and came from my own brain. So yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm not mad that he doesn't like one of my creations. Shout out to everybody that's watching or in the room or is passing by. So I don't mind that he has a problem with that. But what I was pointing out was that he's dissing TTM, but then he's supporting TTM with somebody else. So I found that strange. Okay, so basically, I said, you pay money for a TTM work while dissing the creator. Also, your quote pops up first in Google searches. What's up with that? So yeah, that's kind of whack for me, because TTM is something I work on every single day. It's part of my legacy. It's part of I wake up in the morning, I eat, breathe, sleep TTM and turntablism. And so yeah, I'm not mad that he dissed TTM. It's totally cool to diss it. But to diss it and then pay and then support somebody else and then start getting your friends behind supporting somebody else, I was pointing out that there's a lot of cronyism going on in the realm of DJing. Shout out to my homie John Swan that just came in. He's a esteemed battle DJ that I personally feel that he's been robbed many times, and I think that there's a lot of black DJs out there that are getting obscured or that are getting suppressed. Obscured is not a good word. Suppressed, I take that back. Suppressed is better, because I want to quote my homie Alex Sonnenfeld. And Alex Sonnenfeld, he's a great turntablist from from Berlin, from Germany, and he runs the Sample Music Festival. And he once said that if DJ Raedawn was white, he would have a lot more recognition, which I believe is true. It's a lot like the Eminem quote, where he said, "If I was black, I would have sold half," and that's a very true thing in the game, because if we look at Emma Short T, we'll go back to her page. You see that she's kind of she's saying choosing not to learn scratches. She's dissing TTM by the article. She's saying it's an interesting tool, but but we don't, but choosing not to learn scratches. But then I'm gonna click on Studio Scratches. Let's click on that, and look at that! Boom! I clicked on our page. What happens? You hit Studio Scratches, and the first thing is she's writing in TTM notation, which is great. But that's what I'm saying is that. So when somebody's dissing the creator and then they're actually using the system, that's kind of shady. That's kind of shady to say like if I say of BMWs are dope, But you know, I mean, I'm sorry, if I say BMWs are whack, I would never drive one, and if you see me driving one, that's called being a hypocrite. So I was kind of calling Vekked out for being a hypocrite for support. That's the main focus, is that I was calling him a hypocrite for dissing TTM in a permanent article that, you know, for hopefully it's not going to come up first way in the future, but, you know, as we saw a second ago, I'm going to go back. It comes up first when you type periodic matrix of scratches. Him and Emma's article comes up first. And so my point is that, you know, what's happening is, you know, in the industry, well, this is just I'm talking about the scientific turntablist community. You know, when I speak out and I just say that, hey, you know, there's a lot of cronyism going on, he called me a racist. Or he said I called him a racist. So we'll go back to here. This is yesterday. This is 9 hours ago, maybe 10 hours ago. But I just took the screenshot of this. But he's blocked me on multiple accounts. So yeah. So he says. So I'm gonna read Jake's full thing. So TTM turntable notation is dope. The creator of TTM is an effing idiot and just got himself blocked. You know. So you know, there's a lot of hatred towards me in the industry because I've brought up issues that people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about sexism in the industry. People don't want to talk about racism. And then when you bring it up, people want to call you the racist. And that's it's a very typical thing that people do, whether they're bigots or whoever. They'll try to deflect things. I'm going to switch it back around. It's a typical tactic to call those who are looking to end injustice and inequality, to call them the ones that, you know, it's a common tactic. Like we've seen this with a lot of, you know, with all the racial tension that's going on in the world. You know, we see it every day. We see things get deflected, and we see, you know, people try to deflect things. So the main gist of this is that Jake was calling me, you know, trying to call me out for me calling him out on being, you know, on dissing my stuff. And you know, I don't want to get into beef stuff, clout stuff. This is just for the record to be set straight. You know, we're gonna finish this. So last October, I throw an IDA USA can at last minute for literally no reason other than to give people a chance rather than not having a USA Canada rep at all. It benefits me in no way except that I give back to opportunities. Except that I get to give back opportunities that help me get to where I am. So this, once again, the people that are new to this, that are just saying this is about, this is me, and this is me coming at Jake Vekked. Okay, this is, you know, we're going to go in on the subject. This might be a video. You know, how long it's going to be, because I'm going to be very detailed, and, you know, I'm going to edit a lot of these things on YouTube. When I make a kind of like a little documentary on this subject, because you know what he's trying to do is he blocked me, and then he's making up lies saying like, oh, I'm calling him a racist and this and that. You know, we're gonna see what really happened last October. So we're gonna look. He's talking about last October. So we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna type excess. I'm gonna type DJ excess. Shout out to DJ excess. So excess. IDA. Maybe something will come. Here he goes. So, message to U.S. turntablists. Let me see. Let me get this. So this comes up. So I don't have to scroll down. Remember, I was trying to scroll before, and there's a million posts. So this is faster. Message to USA turntablists. USA just told me that DJ Excess has dropped the ball as far as coordinating the USA IDA scratch battle this year, and that it's not happening. So the European chapters. I'm going to click on this. Alright, let's look at this. Alright, so, let's see. So the European chapters said they have taken it back over again and may do a battle in 2019. So at this point, there was no IDA USA battle. At this point, on October 26, 2018, this is a receipt. These are all receipts, because Jake has no receipts. He's trying to say, you know, he's just trying to stain my reputation. And you know, just for people that don't know me, I'm a pacifist. I'm not into, beefs and dramas and stuff like that. But I do have a big mouth, and I will speak my mind and tell the truth. If I see, something happening. And so basically, let's read this. So the European chapter said they have taken it back over and may do a battle in 2019. This is interesting since America could have actually won this year. They also said Canada is not happening. So both were canceled. I'm going to go back to flip it around. So on October 26, 2018, both Canada and USA were canceled. So I'm the first one that made the world know about it. Nobody had known this until me, because there weren't that many entries. Turntables is a very niche thing right now. So years from now, there's going to be a lot more tablists. But for right now, nobody even noticed that both battles were canceled. But I made the world, I made it known publicly that it was, canceled. And so we'll go into what happened. So we're going to read some of these comments. We're gonna read all this stuff. So shout out to John Swan. So John Swan says, we'll skip John's stuff because it doesn't have to do with this. And shout out to Christy Z, who's working hard at DMC and stuff like that. So we're gonna go. So we're gonna go to where Jake is. Let's find Jake's quotes. Let's see, Don Paco. Shout out Don Paco. Shout out Christy Z. Shout out Thomas. Okay, so Thomas Kubik says, Raymond, to win you have to be better than Poles. He's talking about Polish people. So because the main battle is set in Poland, and this year a Polish person won it. And to me that could be cronyism, but I don't know. I didn't see the whole battle. He might be the best in the world, but to me the best DJs, scratch DJs right now, my favorite, I would have to say my favorite DJs as far as cutting, I think I would say like Swift Style. As far as phrase scratching, outside of phrase scratching, Freddie's doesn't have a lot, of techniques outside of phrase scratching, but he's sick. He's the illest phrase scratcher that I've seen so far, because he's just really super sharp on point. And D Styles, of course, and Q-Bird, the older school. But of new school cats, I want to get a shout out to Fasker. All the people like that Fasker. People like, of course, Natik from France. Natik Francis is always in the house. Also, some of my favorites, even Vekked. Vecked's one of my favorites. I'm so humble because he's trying to. When we go back to this, he's saying, that I'm egotistical, and where does it say? It's fragile ego. Da da da. I'm humble enough, to even say I'm a big fan of Vecked's work. I'm actually going to go into here. We're going to go into. I'm going to type DJ Raedawn. Raedawn Facebook. We're going to find the DJ Raedawn Facebook. And we're going to go in here, and I actually judged the battle maybe 6 years ago. I can't even remember. Maybe 2014. We're going to find it. We're going to go into photos. So this is going to be a very deep investigative search. We're going to go through and clear up all the misconceptions, since Jake is publicly lying about me and trying to attach, mistruths. We're going to find all this stuff. So let's see. Where are the battles? Oh, here's the battle that I scored. So I posted because I'm all into transparency. I think transparency is very important. That's why I started the United Turntablist Guild to increase transparency and make things happen. So this was also Flip Flop. Flip Flop's one of my favorite DJs too. Flip Flop, I forgot, as far as people that I check for and people that I study, I definitely study Flip Flop. His stabs and chirps are super, super fast, and, but that's a whole other thing. So look, this is what I scored Vekked. I gave Vekked a good score, actually. Look, no hating. Look, I gave him an 8.5, 8. I gave Jake Vekked 8 in musicality. I gave him an 8.5 in originality. I gave him an 8.8 in skills, 8.6 in patterns, and an 8.3 in style. He might have won that year. I'm not sure if he won that year. So that was that one. And then let's see the next round. I gave him. Where's Vekked? So I gave him an 8 in musicality. I gave him a 7.5 in originality. I gave him a 8.2 in skills. And I gave him a 8.9 as far as patterns. And then I gave him a 8 as far as style. So this is what I scored Vekked. I scored Vekked. Now, back to the battle where he's talking about. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to this Access IDA thing. Okay, we're going to go back. All right, so this is going to be a very long, in-depth thing, because I'm going to use a lot of these bits and pieces to like cut up other stuff. I mean, to make more of a linear, coherent kind of documentary out of this, but or mini doc. So yeah, so let's go here. So let's see. We're going to go farther down. So Jake says, if I ran a round 1 qualifier for you guys too, and IDA World allows me to do that simultaneously with Canada, would you all spread the word and enter? John Swan says, yes. I say, yep, I'd enter. A North American or full Western world battle would be sick. And Thomas Kubik, the head of the IDA, says, I have the full access to the IDA USA fan page now. IDA World as well, of course. We can spread the word. So my post, this is proof on October 26th that IDA USA and Canada was canceled, were both canceled, and I brought it back by posting it to the world saying that, hey, look, this is canceled, what are we going to do about it? And Jake stepped up and said he'll bring it, he will do the battle. So that's great. So, but he's saying that last October, I threw a battle last minute for literally no reason other than to give people a chance to not having the USA Canada rep at all. It benefits me in no way except that I have to give back to opportunities that help me get where I am. Okay, so this dude doesn't place because apparently just because you draw scratches on paper doesn't mean you can perform them on beat. Who knew? Well, let's see. Let's go in. Let's see me and Jake. So I'm going to see, he's saying I can't scratch, so maybe I can't. We'll see. So Jake, and I'm going to type Vekked. Vekked. I'm typing Vekked. Alright, and then I'm going to type DJ Raedawn. So he's adding a lot of disses. I'm not dissing. I'm just being scientific, being very scientific, being very thorough, and I'm about to go in. So we're gonna play this. This is me and Vekked scratching over the same beats. He's saying I can't scratch. Let's see. Turn this up. Let's rewind it. All right, this is Vekked's first. Alright, this is me. So I mean that's enough. I was just he's saying that I can't scratch. I was just showing that we've scratched together before. This is just to ascertain that we've scratched together before. You know, shout out to Rolly Roll, you know, and Table Turns and the whole crew, and also a special shout out to Rolly Roll. If we need to find Rolly Roll you know, a donor. You know, he's having he's at stage 4 or stage 5. You know, as far as his kidney problems. So, you know, we really need to find him a donor. I'll make different posts about that in the future. I've been meaning to do that. If anybody is B+, blood type, Rolly Roll is looking for B+ blood type. So if anybody out there is B+ blood type, Rolly Roll. So back to here, we got Kimelix on here. He's a 6/6 scratcher. He's one of my favorites too. You know, a lot of my turntables friends that I tend to add are people that, you know, people that I want to see their videos. So yeah, so this is getting back to the point that, you know, Jake is trying to smear me. So I've just proven that I've scratched with Jake before. I gave him a good score in IDA 2013. I was being non-biased. This is what I scored everybody with. That's 1 round. You see, I gave Jake all 8s and 7s and 8s. His score was pretty high. Of course, I gave IQ a really, really high score. But I was being non-biased. Like, I don't know these people, you know. I was just, like, going by what I saw. And I gave Jake a bunch of high scores as well here. 8.5, 8.8. All right, so back to what we were talking about before. So this is the proof that I'm the one that brought, you know, that brought the idea about bringing IDA back to America and Canada. This is the proof that on October 26th, this is one of Jake's first lies. One of Jake's first lies is saying that he just, you know, out of the goodness of his heart brought back IDA, which he did. He launched it, but he launched it because I brought up the issue. I brought up the issue, and, you know, then the head of IDA came in, and Jake came in. So Thomas, you know, Thomas is right here. We have right there. So he says, if I ran a first round qualifier for you guys too, and IDA World allows me to do that simultaneously with Canada, would you spread the word and enter? And John Swan says yes. Shout out to John Swan. And I'm like, yep, I'd enter. A North American or a full Western world battle would be sick. And Thomas Kubik, the head of you know, of IDA out of Poland, he said, I have the full access to the IDA USA fan page now, IDA World as well, of course. We can spread the word. So this is the post that made IDA come back to America and Canada this year. So that's Jake's first lie, number 1. All right. So maybe we should write these down, but I'll just keep that as a mental note. So that's lie number 1, that you know, he just out of his own heart just started IDA. No, we started right here. Thomas Kubik, myself, John Swan, Jake, and he said he would spearhead it. So back to his lie from yesterday when he said I called him a racist. When you know, back right here, he said that I'm racist. He says, instead of hinting that I'm racist, I didn't say racism. I just said we're gonna go to what I said. I said, let me see. Let me go back to this. Yesterday, I said this is what I said exactly yesterday. Shout out to Lee Perry. Shout out to you know, Dim Passwords and the whole camp. Shout out to Lee Perry. Let's see. So let's go down a little bit. Okay, so this is what I said yesterday. I said, especially so Kimelix can see this, because I'm sure Kimelix, you might have seen Jake trying to smear me 9 hours ago. So I said that this is what I'm talking about as far as polarized cronyism. So that could have racial undertones, but you know, if you look at it, what I said, I didn't say he was racist. I said this is polarized cronyism, and we already went to the definition of cronyism. The definition of cronyism was, we got it right here. Definition of cronyism is the practice of partially in awarding jobs and other advantages to friends, family, and relatives or trusted colleagues, especially in politics and between politicians or whatever. Okay, so you get the idea. It's hooking up your homies is cronyism. So I was just saying that it was kind of cronyism because he doesn't know me, and he's dissing TTM, but he knows Chile, and he's lauding and applauding Chile's TTM. So that's what I was commenting about by my statement yesterday. Now we're going to go back to the subject. So we're going to go back. So he says, last October, I throw the IDA USA last minute for literally no reason. No, there's literally no reason. We have the proof. We found the proof right here. That was, in October. So we have the proof. Where's the proof? Where did I go with it? Yeah, here's the proof. We've got the proof right here. That was on October 26, 2018. So that's wrong. So dude doesn't. So now we're going to go to the next point. Dude doesn't place, and I wasn't even a judge, because apparently just because you can draw scratches on paper doesn't mean you can perform them on beat. Who knew? So he says this is another lie from Jake. So we got one lie. Now the second lie. Actually, you know what? We should write these lies down. Maybe I should write these lies down. But so I'll tabulate that later. But so basically, the dude doesn't place, and I wasn't even a judge. So that's a lie right there. That's another lie. So he says he wasn't a judge. He was the only judge. There was only one judge this year. If anybody looks up the actual, if you do the research on what happened with IDA this year, Vekked was the judge, and he was the only judge. He just did a one-round knockout type of a thing. So everybody sent in their videos, and he was the judge. So he's lying right here. He says I wasn't even a judge. I'm like, okay. Well, he said he was a judge. So then what happened was he was the actual one that judged for whoever he chose. We'll find that. We'll go back to the United Turntablists Guild. So United. Type United Turntablists Guild. Alright, so this is going to be in depth. This might be a 2-hour thing. So you can go get some food, come back, some popcorn. If you're into these niche little qualms or whatever. And let's see. So we're going to go down. So this is the United Turntablists Guild. And this union was created. You don't have to pay dues. You're welcome to join it. This union was created by us to protect DJs, to protect women and people of color. And really, I never say people of color, but I'm just saying that, for y'all to understand. Really, I would say, is to protect women and people that are outside of the Euro male, hegemony monopoly of, in the DJ world. And so we're gonna go down, and we're gonna go here. So there's a bunch of different articles. We're about to get to the article regarding the IDA stuff. And get farther down. So yeah, once again, Rolly Roll. He's looking for. He needs an organ that's B+ blood type. So I'm gonna make that known again. We're looking for. We need Rolly Roll. We need to find a donor. Okay, so it's not rolling down. See, it's in the. It's Okay, there we go. So it's starting. Okay, this is another thing. This is a whole other issue. You can see I'm getting a lot of hate in the turntablism world. There's a lot of haters. Look, Raymond Pearl is not welcome, pathetic, CUNT, dropping names and insults, the FAGS and a CUNT. So you can see that, this guy, Gurmit Singh Thindal, he's from the UK. He is mad because the United Turntablists Guild exposed him for copying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of turntablist videos and monetizing them. He had 2 different accounts called like Tools for Turntablism or Tools for Tables. And, we alerted Rob Swift, we alerted Dirt Style, Dirt Style, now you could call it Thug Rumble. We alerted Qbert and Thug Rumble that, that he was plagiarizing their videos and uploading them. Even DMC stuff. I'm pretty sure I told Christy that, he was I'm sure she saw it too. He was uploading hundreds and hundreds of videos. So you see, there's a bunch of hate going towards me. So Jake is not alone. There's people bullying me. This is why I'm making this public, and this is why I'm making this known, that it's not just like, oh, I got some beef with Jake or something. It's like, no, there's a bunch of people bullying me. So you can see, Gurmit Singh is mad because his 2 plagiarizing YouTubes were taken down for plagiarizing. He literally had, let's say you have a DVD and it was like, some 1998 DVD, he would upload every track on the DVD. He had all types of battles, and he had hundreds of videos. So yeah, you see, he's very mad. He runs a site. He runs a site called Scratching What Is It, and he was posting this on his site. A lot of hate, a lot of hate. So there's a lot of hate coming towards me. So let's see. This is heavy. Christy Z. This is some other issue. This is bringing up about the fact that we're pushing for a lawsuit against the FCC as far as them exploiting black folks and targeting our communities with hypersexualization and targeting our communities with hyper gangsterism. Whether it's Melly or all this craziness that we're seeing in the media today. They're cultivating young, super predators, just like Hillary Clinton was talking about. Of course, I disagree with what Hillary was saying, but I think that they're cultivating it. They're grooming. The radio stations are clearly grooming, black Americans and targeting us with hyper gangsterism and hypersexualization. It's like you hear Cardi B like, "Oh, he comes more when I see him less." It's like you got little kids saying that, and if you got a little kid saying he comes more when I see him less, that's grooming them. That's textbook grooming, because that's sick. So that's a whole other thing. But we're gonna go a little bit farther back. So look, white supremacists beat black DJ who refused to play this music. Let's see. Okay. All right. So look. So this is back. This is when we're getting back to the IDA stuff. So, we're almost there to where we can see. And this is another issue. This is people, personality theft. Somebody's trying to steal D Styles' likeness, and they're creating fake accounts. There's some Mick D Styles, all these different D Styles coming out. There's a lot of stuff going on. So that's what the United Turntablists Guild is for: is to protect women's rights and to protect people that aren't of the highest caste, that aren't of the highest caste. So a lot of you may be familiar with stripper DJs. Right now, there's a whole trend of stripper DJs, and I'm not against strippers. I'm not against that. I think there needs to be stripper unions, and they need to get away from all that house mother stuff and having to so yeah, like this is like you see stripper DJs and you see guys exploiting women. So this post is about not just about how Jake is trying to smear me and spread lies. We've already caught 2 of his lies. That's 2. We can see that it's a very male dominated industry, and it's very European male dominated as well. Now one could say if we take social Darwinism into that, you can say, well, all the DJs, they just happen to be, all the best DJs happen to be, white and Asian or whatever, and black guys, they're just not that good anymore. Which may be true in some ways. This is A-Track, trying to appropriate my system 20 years ago, and A-Track still uses this in his press release. A-Track still says that he created scratch notation. So that's kind of an interesting subject as well. But we're about to get back down to this IDA thing, okay? And we're getting back to this issue of so we proved that we're proving that he's lying. Okay, so this is opinion. That I'm an effing idiot. That's an opinion. That's him dissing me. I've never smeared him or cussed at him or anything like that. I just had a scientific post. My post said this. Let me see, where was it? My post said this. All I said was I noticed you dissed my work in an article years ago. Now you love TTM. Please explain. That's all I said. I didn't say F you, you stupid. I don't do that. I'm not on that whole drama clout stuff. But I am advocate and proponent of exposing and the truth coming out. I'm an advocate of the truth. All right, so we're going to talk about this. So this is, going back to the main point is that he said that I called him a racist yesterday, and all I said was, this is polarized cronyism, and we'll find where that is. It's over here somewhere. What did I say? Let's see. Yes, as far as polarized cronyism that's taking place in turntablism these days. All right. And what I mean by polarized cronyism too is that, and shout out to HP who bigged up it, and shout out to Charles Jones Jr., Lucy's Prince, and one other people. And we're also going to point this out too, that notice that the only people that are clicking like, the only people that respond to this, these are all black males. Ulysses Prince, Charles Jones, No Surrender, these are all black males. So there are racial issues going on in turntablism right now. There is polarization going on. All right. So yeah, this is yesterday. I pointed out that nobody noticed or cared that both Joe Rogan and Alex Jones both collect Nazi memorabilia, and they said in their show, in Joe's show, that it shouldn't be stigmatized. But yeah, that's a whole other tangent. But yeah, back to this. So since the battle, he keeps insinuating on my posts by subtly hinting that I'm racist. So today he turns up it more and posts more overtly insinuating that I'm racist. So now he's gone. F that. Just putting this out there in case there's anyone who thinks there's anything to what he's posting other than being a delusional douchebag with a fragile ego. Now, shout out to Mr. Ramos Jr. and shout out to Tony. We got Puerto Rico in the house. We got all these international people in the house. This is an international thing that's happening. So, so we're going to go back to the post. For those who don't know, yesterday I posted, Jake, let the debate begin. So I noticed you dissed my work, the periodic matrix of scratches. And we'll go to that. Let's see. Let's find that again. So when you type periodic matrix of scratches on Google, this is very serious. The first thing that comes up is Jake Vekked and Emma Short T's article dissing TTM, saying periodic matrix scratches and choosing to not learn scratches. Yet let's see what happens when we click Studio Scratches, little main splash page. Click it. It didn't work. I'm trying to click it. It worked before. I'm gonna click home. There we go. When you click home, what's the first thing she has on her page? TTM. All right. If you type YouTube, I'm going to type YouTube, and I'm going to find Emma. Let's see, let's go YouTube TTM Academy. Now we're going to type, let's see, TTM DJ. What's the first thing that pops up? First thing that pops up, some videos. Number 3 is Emma Short T. 71,000 views, and she's monetized. She's dissing TTM. Meanwhile, she's monetizing it. 78,000 views. She's explaining TTM, which I think is great.
Turntablist transcription method, and is a way of writing down or notating scratches. It's a really useful tool for learning and remembering the different scratch techniques.
Okay, so she says it's a very useful tool, but meanwhile, she's dissing the Matrix, and Jake's dissing the Matrix. So we're gonna go back to Jake's quote for those who haven't seen it. There's gonna be some circular things happening within this debate. So Jake, this is Jake's quote. I don't really see a ton of use in having 1,000 patterns I've never heard before and learning them. Like, the possibilities of patterns are literally endless. You can draw a sine wave and just start putting dots all over and end up with new patterns. I just feel like TTM Matrix is trying to replace what people should be doing with their imagination. So this is the first thing that pops up when you type periodic matrix of scratches. All right. I don't see much use in something like this personally. I have so many combos and patterns in my head. So he says I don't see much use in it, and this post was about him. You can't see it now; the content's not available. But he posted a new book that DJ Chili or Daniel, I don't know if it's Arce or Arc, but I guess it's Arce's. Shout out or Arce. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but shout out to Daniel. Shout out to DJ Chili, and. So basically, he just bought Chile's new work and he's dissing it. So both Emma and Jake. So Emma's dissing it and she's monetizing it. Jake is dissing it and he just bought a new thing by a friend of his. So I pointed out, I was like, that's why I said So you pay money for a TTM work while dissing the creator of it. Also, your quote pops up first in Google searches. What's up with that? And then he says, he comes out, it's like, the creator of the TTM is an effing idiot. He just got himself blocked for this. He blocked me for this. And then he's trying to tell all his friends, because he's got a lot of followers. That's why I have to do this live. That's why I have to do this right now, nip it in the bud. This might be 2 hours. And I'm going to, re-edit this on YouTube and add more stuff maybe. But probably not. I'll probably have enough. And, this might be like a 2-hour thing or something. We're going to expose each one of Vekked's lies. So we exposed his first lie. He said, last October, I throw IDA USA last minute for no reason. We exposed that right here. Here's the receipt. We're going to go back to that receipt. That's number one. Number one, let's see. IDA, we have the proof right here. This is how IDA came back from my post, October 26, 2018. I was the one that notified the world that there was no more IDA, and we had a brainstorm, and Jake said, "Hey, I can I'll spearhead it," and we're like, "Yeah, that's dope." All right, and then Jake said, "Oh, I had nothing to do. I didn't, like I'm just coming out of the blue, like I'm some bent up, person that lost the battle." And this goes to my next point. This is another point. He says that if I ran a one round qualifier for you guys too, and IDA allows me to do that simultaneous with Canada, would you guys spread the word and enter? John said yes. Thomas Kubik, the head of IDA, said yes. And we're going back to here. We have him lying. We got Jake lying, saying this dude doesn't place. I wasn't even a judge. But what do you mean place? It's a one round. There was no places. That's what I'm saying. He's lying. It was a one round qualifier. There weren't any places. So basically, everybody sent their videos, and then Jake just chose who he liked the best out of everybody. And we're going to go back to the United Turntables Guild and find it. Shout out to, the cut up a bow record, DJ Fool's battle that he created. He's got a cool judging ranking system. But David Guetta. So this is back to the United Turntables Guild. And for those who don't know, the United Turntables Guild is an organization that was created for things like this, to spread awareness of what's happening. Turntablism is to spread the truth. Where there's things going on, and also, like I was saying before, there's a lot of stripper DJs that are happening, and there's a lot of discrimination for women. I personally feel that, every festival should have quotas. I firmly believe in quotas, and I believe that, women should be representing at least 50% of whether it be raves or DJ battles or not say battles. I meant to say more so like raves, like things that people are being booked. If it's a entry thing, then of course you can't control that. But I meant to say more like shows and gigs and stuff like that. So that this site is to is to end DJ disparity and end the equalities within DJing, because they're very stark. There's a lot of stuff going on. So back to this. Let's go back up what we just saw here. So this is back to, somebody else who's harassing me, Bob Scratch, or, Gurmit Singh Thindal, who's from the UK, but he was posing like he was from Spain. He had, his sites were taken down, and he was harassing me. We can go up earlier. He was also harassing me. Let's go back to where the most recent harassment. He said, Raymond Pirtle, you're not welcome, you pathetic, CUNT, dropping names and insults, the FAG's S.A. So he's publicly posting this on Scratch sites. People go to the site, nobody wants to talk about race, nobody wants to talk about racism. This gentleman, is, coming at me like that, and now Vekked coming at me. But back to the proof of this is talking about how Jake, he chose the winners of the battle, and the thing is that he only made he never made any of the battles public. If you go to the IDA USA fan page, I'm going to type IDA USA. We're going to go there. We're going to go to IDA USA. Alright, we're going to go to, IDA USA, maybe I'll type DJ Battle or something like that. We're going to type IDA USA, maybe DJ, maybe I should type. There we go. So ID. See, I click it a bunch. Nice and purple. And shout out to everybody. You can see I'm kind of hoarse. I'm gonna flip this around. So I'm kind of hoarse today. Shout out to everybody that's here right now. So I'm kind of hoarse today because I just got sick. This is my first time being sick in about a year and 2 months. I'm always doing the Dr. Sebi diet, but I got off, the alkaline diet for like a week. I was like, eat a bunch of red pasta sauce and beans and stuff like that. And I got sick, so I got a little bit of a little hoarse. So I might go hoarse by the end of this. So we're gonna go to the IDA page. Let's see who the finalists were. Let's see who won. Let's see. Updated their profile. Let's see. So this is February 16th. We're gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna go back. So we're getting all the info. So we've got Vekked on 2 different lies. He's lied twice, and it hurts me. When somebody lies about me in public. I had a friend named James Hudson, and James Hudson came to me saying like, "Hey, is this real? Did you really call Jake racist yesterday?" And all this stuff like that. So let's see. Let's go a little bit farther back to when the battle happened. Let's find who the winners are. So shout out to Toltec for winning the whole thing. Now let's see. IDSA USA. All right. So here we go. So we still don't have it. We're at December. We're gonna go a little bit farther back. We're going a little bit farther back. Okay. Going a little bit farther back. Okay. So IDA show category winners. Okay. So we're looking for the U.S. winners. All right. So we're going to find the U.S. winners because Jake said that we have Jake lying on 2 different occasions. We caught him on that. This is going to be a documentary on YouTube that's going to be re-edited, truncated. The tangents and all that stuff will be taken out or made more clear. Let me put my elbow down because I'm like holding up this phone, so it's like shaking. It's hard to hold something up for this long. Okay, so here we go. So, okay, this Poland. I think Poland ended up winning. They ended up winning home court. Now, we're going to go to, here we go. We're getting into November. I think it's a little bit farther back in November. All right, let's go a bit farther back. So this is the IDA USA thing. We still haven't seen the winners of the IDA USA. Some old videos. So DJ IQ, some old school stuff. Shout out to IQ. He's definitely inspiration too. He's very sick DJ. Let's see. So we still haven't gotten to the winners here. So we got October 25th. Have we seen who the winners are? October 27th. This is regarding the USA and Canada IDA. Okay, so our 3 times IDA World Champion Vekked will organize a quick 1-round scratch battle to find out who's the best scratcher in the US. The winner will represent the USA. So that's another lie. You can see that he lied. So he says, dude, I wasn't even a judge. And here's IDA, run by Mr. Kubik from Poland, saying, hi, folks. Vekked will organize a quick 1-round scratch battle to find out who's the best scratcher in the U.S. So he's lying. He was a judge. So here's the proof. IDA's telling the truth. And Jake Vekked Meyer is lying and trying to publicly smear me. So here's proof. It says, look, here's a receipt. Hi folks, good news. So the battle came back. And why did the battle came back? Because I made it known. Right? We found that proof. We'll go back to that for those who just stepped in. This is the proof that on October 26, 2018, I made a post saying, hey, message to USA Turntablists. The IDA just told me that DJ XS has dropped the ball and that it's been canceled. So when I said this, a lot of people came at me. People were saying like, how could you say XS dropped the ball? That's called dropping the ball. When you're the head of something, he was the head of IDA USA. And yeah, he dropped the ball. So we're going to drag this. We're going to drag IDA USA to another window. And we're going to go into the messages. Let's look at the messages. I'm going to click send message. So we can see message history. So let's look at the message history of me and IDA. So we're going to go back. So this is 2017, I'm like, sup, when does the USA IDA Online begin? At 10/12/2017. So this is a message to Excess, and I get no answer, no reply. And if anybody knows, the battle ended up happening like 2 weeks later. It was like a week later. I had been waiting all year, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not happening, and nobody got back to me. And so he dropped the ball. So I'm not gonna say he dropped the ball. The battle happened. The battle happened, and it was a great battle. All the people that were involved, it was dope. But here we have proof that they're not replying to people. He didn't reply to me, which is fine. He doesn't have to reply. But to me, that's kind of a crony type of thing when it's like you're just letting people in your inside circuits know when the battle is happening. So this is about cronyism, and of course cronyism does overlap with racism. But the main thing was that I was calling out Jake for cronyism. Okay, so sup, when does that USA ID begin? That's 2017. So a year later, I say the same exact thing. I say sup to Excess. When does the USA IDA Online begin? And he doesn't get back to me. Now, what's interesting is that I've known Excess for over 20 years. A lot of people, be like, oh, you're dissing Excess for saying he dropped the ball, but he did drop the ball. In 2018, there was supposed to be a U.S. battle, and it didn't happen. And so IDA came back to me, and they said, hi, Ray, this is Thomas from IDA World. I have taken over the fan page because the U.S. guys were not able to run the IDA anymore. I'm afraid that we have just lost 1 year. We might be back in 2019, but this time I don't see a change. I don't see a chance for organizing the battle before the IDA World Online Scratch battle starts. So this is proof right here that Thomas said that, hey, the battle was canceled, and that he said that we're not able to run the IDA anymore. So that's called dropping the ball. So when I said that Excess dropped the ball, let me click on that again. I was attacked for saying Excess dropped the ball. I said IDA just told me that Excess has dropped the ball as far as coordinating the IDSA USA. That's a pretty accurate explanation of the message that Thomas Kubik sent me. Now, he said that they're no longer able to do it. That's dropping the ball. So let's look in the quotes here. Let's see. Let me look at all the comments. There's a lot of hateful comments. We'll go into some of these. Shout out to Don and Christy and everybody. Let's see. So, and this is back to those who are new. This is proof that one of Jake's points about him lying is Jake said, if I ran a 1-round qualifier and IDA allows me to do that simultaneously with Canada, would you all spread the word and enter? But he says, no, I wasn't even a judge. When we have multiple sources of proof that he was the judge. He was the only judge. He ran the whole battle. And what ended up happening, where I was trying to find the footage, I'll find it eventually later in this little short documentary, is that they never even posted them. They never posted who the winners are. Because look, where are the winners? It's October 29th. Where's the winners of the USA? So this is what I mean about cronyism. I don't see, this is October 27th. Have you seen our latest world champions? October 25th. Number 26, Kurtik. That's not USA. Shout out to Kurtik too. He's a turntablist that I look up to, and I check for his stuff. Especially flipping both hands. I think it's like basketball, being able to dribble with both hands. So to me he's really on some next. He's one of the best in the world. Okay, so 2017. Oh, so yeah, we're back at 2017. So look, 2017. 2017, 2017, 2017. We're trying to find 2018. Where's the USA IDA winners? October 25th. Nope. D Styles. It's about D Styles. He didn't compete. Nope. Toltec. Shout out Toltec. October 29th. So hi folks. So look, so once again, here's the proof that Vekked is lying and trying to smear me publicly. Our 3-time IDA World Champion Vekked will organize a quick 1-round scratch battle when he says, I wasn't even a judge. He made the whole battle. So it's a lie. But we're going to try to find the results. Who's the winner? Where's the results? I don't see it. November 3rd. We're November 2nd. Let's see. November 5th. I don't see the USA winners. This is the USA IDA page. This isn't IDA, France or IDA. For those who don't know, IDA is an international, the International DJ Association. Kimelix. Dude, you are taking it all wrong. You think that IDA is some sort of super organized association, but it's not. If they didn't post the winners, it means nothing. Also, no proof V was judging. Chill out, man. Well, I can't chill out because when somebody says this, this is my legacy. TTM is something, when you type, the first thing you type, the reason I can't chill out is because, that affects my paper, that affects my life, that affects my family. For somebody to try to, tear me down or something like that, So basically, I'm going to go back to, let's see, not just cronyism, but let's see. Where were we? I'll find it over here. So clips of Vekked. We'll click back. I'm going to click back. All right, let's see. So we're clicking back. Oh, it's not there. That's weird. Oh, it's on this one. Here we go. School of Scratch. Maybe. So it's on this one. So we see that Emma's monetizing TTM while dissing it. This is what this is about. It's not about IDA. Shout out to Mr. Kubik. But I'm pointing out that Excess dropped the ball, and here we go again. This is Emma Short T using TTM on her site while dissing it, and this is the article that I'm talking about. So this is back to the beginning point that Jake is dissing TTM, but then he's supporting it when other people do it. But he's just, so I'm like, what's going on? So I was like, what's going on? So let's go back. All right, and once you get it, pops up first when you type periodic matrix of scratches. So this is at Damien Kimelix. When you type periodic matrix of scratches, this is what comes up first. This is what this is about. This is not about IDA. That's just a sub thing. That's just one of the points that's proving that Vekked is lying and has lied many times. Okay, so we've got this that says they were not able to run it. Now I'm getting to the point where I started getting attacked by a bunch of European male turntablists. And the reason I say European males is because no black DJs were attacking me. It's a very, there's a lot of racial tension going on in the world right now, and that doesn't limit turntablism. Turntablism's not free from that. Everything is being affected. So let's go back to where we were. I'm gonna go to the United Turntablist Guild. All right. Actually, no, I'm gonna go back to the IDA and let's try to find it. So November 5th. So there was no post of the winners. So Kimlick said, "Dude, you're taking it all wrong. You think the IDA is some sort of super." They didn't post the winners means nothing. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I mean, that's what the whole page is supposed to be for. And the winners weren't posted. But we posted the winners at the United Turntablist Guild. I posted the winner up here. Well, you can find it. The winners should be posted up here. Let's see. I'm going to keep going back. Alright. So we're at October 20th. So that's a little bit too late. So I must have skipped over it. October 20th. So let's get to the 3 style. Alright. And yeah, shout out to Christy Z. Once again, so we're almost there. October 20th. October 31st. Okay, there we go. So here goes. Jake Meyer and Oliver Netique. So these were the judges. So he just said, I wasn't even a judge. So this is at Kimelix. At Kimelix, he was a judge. He said, no proof V was judging. Here it says, okay, Jake Meyer and Oliver Netique, where can we see the videos? Because Jake had made a post after this, after this post, which we'll go to over here, this post, after this whole post of where I revived the idea of having it, and then he physically revived it and made it happen. We have here, this is the proof of that. We're going to go back to it for those who are just coming in, or we're going to go back to where Thomas Kubik is right here, and saying, and this is saying, Jake saying, hey, if I ran it, so this is proof that that it started back up because I started the idea, and then Jake made it happen, and we were all happy. Everybody's happy. So yeah, so now here we go. So let's look at who won. So shout out to Selly. Selly won. Okay, so we found it. So here it is. So they posted the winner. All right, they posted the winner, but they didn't post anybody else. So here's me being positive. I'm a very positive person, and this is also anytime a black male starts to talk about facts and truth, people are like, oh, you're trying to be like Kanye, you're being racist. You're a racist. I've had numerous turntablists block me saying like, oh, you're trying to be a racist, but it's like, no, I'm just pointing out facts. I'm saying there's racial disparities, there's things going on. But yeah, so Selly won. It was dope. He had a dope set, but none of the other people were posted, and we don't even know how many other people entered. And so that's what I'm talking about as far as transparency. There's no transparency going on. There's a lot of cronyism, a lot of we get a lot of rulings, judge rulings that are just coming out of the blue. So so that's a problem. That's obvious. Transparency is always is generally always a positive thing. And we can see there's not transparency because we have one DJ being shown, but there's a lot of DJs that entered. John Swan entered. I don't see. There's nowhere I can find his video. I entered. I don't see my video, but we posted some of the videos here, and I think we posted it over here maybe. Yeah, so it's like Selly's, and then we have I had to find these myself. This is another one. VTRN. This guy, he's sick. He had a dope set. And you can see that I had to actually we had to find these. And I don't even know how many people entered. So that goes back to that was a long tangent. That was maybe a 15-20 minute tangent on saying this dude doesn't place, and I wasn't even a judge. Well, how can I not place if the battle was a 1-round battle and there were no places? It's just one winner. So there weren't like first, second, third place. It was just a winner. It was a 1-round battle. So this is proof that it was a 1-round battle, and that Jake was a judge, Natik was a judge, and that now Jake is lying about it for clout. So this is basically this article. This expose is showing that Jake is trying to smear me and diss me. You see, he's coming. The creative team is an effing idiot. Okay, and just got himself blocked. Okay, like I care, but so yeah, he's trying to say that I was bent up because I lost that battle, but I didn't. I wasn't bent up. You see me saying that these people are dope and it's great. I was just saying that hey, where are the scores? Where are the and we'll go back to the scores. Let's go back to the scores. We're gonna let's see. Where are the scores? We're gonna go back to the scores. More receipts. Look, this is me scoring Jake. This is me scoring Vekked. This is DJ Raedawn's. This is Facebook, and this is a score of Vekked. 8.5, 8. Okay, great scores. I'm not biased. So yeah, this is saying that. Okay, so he's trying to say that I was bent up, and so that I've been trying to come at him because I'm bent up. So let's see. Just putting so today he turns it up more and posts more vocally insinuating that I'm racist. So now he's gone F that. Just putting this out there in case there's anyone who thinks there's anything to what he's posting other than being a delusional douchebag with a fragile ego. Okay, so we've proved that Jake has lied at multiple points. When I edit this for YouTube, I'll put the points there, and maybe have a little thing in the upper corner of the screen showing that, so it's a lot more clear. That's why this is kind of this is more of an information gathering thing, so where I can put all the information together. So let's go back into this. So when I first said we're going to go back to this point where I said Excess has dropped the ball as far as coordinating the IDA, and here we have proof that says that Thomas Kubik told me, "Hi Ray, this is Thomas from IDA World. I have taken over the fan page because the US guys were not able to run it anymore." So I called that. I interpreted that as drop the ball. It's called, it's a phrase. Whoops. It's a figure of speech. Dropping the ball. There was no ball being dropped. It's just figure of speech, and we know what that means. It means not doing a task that they were supposed to do. And Excess was supposed to do it. He was the head of the USA IDA. So now, what happened to me when I said that? I got attacked. Let's see. we're going to go into those where a lot of DJs started attacking me and started trying to protect Excess and saying, let's see, shout out to Rasp Hunt, let's see, Jason Toltec. That's not true. Excess didn't drop the ball. It's a little disappointing. This is Antrix Manawat. I don't know this guy. I'd never met him. It's a little disappointing that it's being framed as dropping the ball. It took a lot to organize the last IDA USA Online, and I, for one, took a lot of responsibility for it. I set up the site, ran the online process, and worked hard with Sess and Mo to coordinate it for years. Sometimes life gets in the way, and as much as we put into the battle to hear it's being framed as dropping the ball is a little disrespectful. Disrespectful? Just saying drop the ball. Who's dropped the ball? The ball was dropped. Okay, so he's attacking me for saying that Excess dropped the ball. And then a bunch of his friends came in and attacked me too. So let's keep reading this. They were just going to pick a wild card with no actual elimination process, so we tried to prevent it. It takes a lot to raise funding, pay judges. Pay judges? I didn't get paid when I did it, and here's the proof. See, here's my score sheet from 2013 IDA. I never heard of IDA judges being paid. I heard that people have to pay for their own tickets to fly out to the finals, and if you can't fly to the finals, you don't get in. And there was a bunch of DJs, I think out of the UK, maybe calling that out. But I'm not here to call out IDA. I think IDA is a great institution, and I can't wait to see it expand even more. Shout out to Thomas and all of those people out there, the whole IDA. Okay, so we're finished this. So they were just going to pick a wild card. No one wanted to sponsor, pay for it. No one wanted to pay for judges, prizes, nothing. So I paid out of pocket. Excess paid out of pocket, and the deal is IDA World doesn't help pay anything, zero. I ran the Facebook and Instagram for them, and it had one of its biggest pushes last year due to us doing a favor for USA. Due to us doing a favor for USA turntablists. It took 2 months to run that online battle, and we had zero to make from it. Let's see. IDA USA didn't say Excess dropped the ball because IDA USA was me, Excess, and Mo. Okay, well, he was the head of it. Shout out to Cymatic. Shout out to the whole cut and paste. For those who don't know or are just tuning in, this is about Jake Meyer trying to publicly smear me and diss me. We're going to go back over that for people that are just tuning in. He says the creative TTM is an effing idiot and just got himself blocked. He said I tried to call him racist yesterday, when in fact what happened was I posted, let's see, where's my original post? I posted this. Jake, let the debate begin. I just wanted to have a debate. I never dissed him. I never called him any names like he called me. He's calling me an effing idiot. He's calling me a delusional douchebag with a fragile ego. Everybody that knows me, I'm a pacifist. And I'm not, and I'm a humble person, but I do have a big mouth. I will, speak out. So it says, yeah, Jake Meyer, let the debate begin. So I noticed you dissed my work, the periodic matrix of scratches, in an article years ago. And so this is for Cymatic. If you look up periodic matrix of scratches, the first thing that comes up is Jake and Emma's article dissing TTM. So it's periodic matrix of scratches and choosing to not learn scratches. And to make the story short, here's Vekk's quotes. He says, "Don't really see a ton of use in having it," and he's dissing it. You can read the whole thing if you want. I already read it earlier, so I don't want to bore people by reading things too many times. So let me wave at everybody. I didn't know I can click that. Let me wave. Oh, shout out to Richie Hodge. Shout out to Richie Hodge. He's a legend. He got me doing 4 clicks. He's the only person I really see dropping some 4 clicks. And I'm waving everybody, so this is a shout out to everybody. So this is the original post. So I was just calling out. I was like, hey, how are you dissing TTM? And the TTM diss comes up first when you type periodic matrix. That affects my paper. That affects my livelihood. Like, imagine Cymatic, imagine you type cut and paste records, and the first thing that comes up is like me saying like cut and paste, sucks or something. It's like that's a diss. So I'm like, hey, Jake, why did you diss my work? And and it comes up first in Google, and now you're supporting Chile's work, which I think Chile's work is dope. Daniel Arque, and so I'm like, that just seems kind of strange. It seems like, you would, why would you diss the creator of something and then turn around and, support permutations of his work. So that's what the main point of this is so yesterday I said, what I said was, there's a lot of polarized cronyism going on in the industry. And we just proved earlier, I'm not sure if you saw it, Cymatic, but I was showing that the IDA USA was canceled, and Thomas said that the ball was dropped, and I was able to make a post that brought it back. So we have the post here. This is the post that brought the IDA back to USA and Canada. Because before that, nobody knew that it was canceled. I was the only one that knew that it canceled because Thomas responded to me. And shout out to the IDA once again. This is not about IDA and organization, all that type of stuff. This is about Jake trying to publicly smear me and trying to, because that really hurts me. It hurts when somebody's, trying to, create lies and things like that, and then try to get their fans behind them to, all this cloud chasing stuff. I'm not part of that. So this is where it happened. This is for Cymatic, since you're just tuning in. We're going to find where it happened. So Jake says, hey, if I ran a 1-round qualifier, for you guys too, and the IDA world allows me to do that simultaneously with Canada, would y'all spread the word and enter? And John Swan says yes. I say yes. And Thomas Kubik, the head of the IDA, says, I have full access to the IDA USA fan page now, IDA world as well. Of course, we can spread the word. So the event, the battle was brought back to life, and Jake and Natik were judges, and it was a 1-round thing. Okay, so this is back to when people started really dissing me pretty heavily. So they were really mad that I said Excess dropped the ball, but I mean technically that's dropping the ball. Dropping the ball is when you leave something, a responsibility that you were supposed to do. So I wasn't wrong in saying that he dropped the ball. But yeah, I didn't know that he was part of Excess's team. I didn't know that. I had to find that out, But so Excess and his team dropped the ball. But if you're the head of the project, then you can take responsibility for the people that are working for you. So if Excess drops the ball and the other people are part of it and even if they're doing all the work, it's still that. So Glenn Excess responds. So this is when things started to get hateful. So let's see. So this is Jake saying, "Okay, guys, since no one else could step up, I'm running both the IDA USA and Scratch battles." But here it says, "I wasn't even a judge." So this is these are numerous points of Jake Vekked lying. He says I wasn't even a judge, but right here we have the proof of him saying I am organizing the battle. Him and Natik were the judges. Shout out to Natik. I just got to scratch with him a couple of months ago at Table Turns. And since I'm mentioning Table Turns, I'm going to mention again, anybody that's a B+ blood type, Roll is in desperate need of a kidney transplant. He's at stage 5, which is very serious. He's on dialysis, and he's still giving people lessons. He's still working hard. So anybody out there that knows any B+ people, we really need B+ for Roll. Okay, so we have here that Vekked says, okay guys, I'm gonna click on this, see more. Okay, so okay guys, since no one else could step up, I'm running both the IDA USA Canada and USA Scratch category battles. Huge shout out to Alexander Plateau of Also Flow and Fresh Kills for providing the beats. Link for the beats in the comments below. Since the World's Finals start in 8 days, we are only doing 1 round on 2 beats. You must scratch on both. Please tag anyone who might be interested in entering and spread the word since the deadline is 6 days away. Additional rules and other allowed equipment: strictly vinyl, no DVS, no cue points, no effects, only vinyl allowed, no dicers. Direct audio, smooth That we don't need all those details. So the deadline's November 1st. The links are linked. You must not put your videos publicly until the results are released. Judges to be announced since it's extremely last minute. I'm organizing everything. So he ended up being able to get Natik along with him. All right. So there's no prizes. Did I miss anything? All right. So that's the post. So that proves that Jake set up the battle. I'm glad he did it. So he's basically trying to say I was bent up for losing the battle, which I wasn't. But I mean, I thought that I should have at least placed or something like that. But that's every DJ feels like that. That's a natural thing. So let's go back to now. We're gonna go to talk about Excess, and shout out to the Excess. Last time I ran into Excess, we've known each other for over 2 decades. He's an amazing turntablist. I'll put a link to his stuff, because this is going to be part of a bigger culmination of things that's happening. But, the last time we're going to talk about Dubspot now, because the last time I talked to him, I was actually talking about racism and Dan from Dubspot, actually, because, I turned in my teaching application to Dubspot years ago, and, and Dan, I walked up into the place, and I just happened to run into Dan, and I asked, where do I turn in the applications? And he said, ask somebody downstairs. And then so I went downstairs. I'll flip it back on me. This is a little Dubspot story. And we're going to get into, I'm going to do a whole Dubspot expose in the future too. There's hundreds or maybe not hundreds, I'm exaggerating. There's dozens of students that had their money stolen from Dubspot. This is another issue within turntablism that people haven't talked about yet, and I'm going to bring up that issue in a whole other thing. But this tangent is kind of relevant within that. So for those who don't know, Dubspot is a DJ school that pretty much closed down, but they're still kind of running online. They're a DJ school that's been around in New York for years and years, and they started stealing money from a lot of their students, like having teachers. Professors weren't showing up. Professors weren't getting paid. They weren't paying the professors. So then the professors were like, "Hey, I'm not getting paid." So then they weren't having classes. And then, but the students were paying for the classes, and Dubspot kept collecting it. So anyway, the last conversation I had with Excess was about Dan from Dubspot, his former boss. Though it still says he works for Dubspot on the site, so maybe he still works with Dubspot. But if you look up Dubspot, they have a lot of bad reviews because all the students bailed and jumped ship, and they're pretty much just an online platform now. But they had a physical location that was very big, and I'm not here to diss Dubspot, but I'm here to spread awareness that Dubspot. I called out Dubspot maybe 10 years, no, probably like 2012 maybe or something like that, maybe 2013. I called out Dubspot for discriminating against me, and I'm going to show you how they discriminated against me. When I turned in my teaching application, I came to Dubspot with my resume, and I was like, hey, who do I hand this application to? And Dan told me, go downstairs and talk to somebody. And then I went downstairs, and then somebody said, oh, talk to either Dan or I forgot the woman's name, maybe Kara, I forgot her name. Dan or the woman, the other woman that runs Dubspot. He said, give it to either him or her. And I was like, okay, who? And I couldn't find her. And then I ran into Excess that day, I think, and he said, what's up? And then I ran into this is like a sub story. I ran into who else did I run into? I ran into Matt Shaytek. Shout out to Matt Shaytek from Shaytek, and also shout out to Zach Shaytek. Even though they've kind of split, and shout out, those are my homies. We go way back. The Shaytek sound system, and Warp Records, the whole camp. But yeah, shout out to Matt Shaytek, and so I had run into Matt, and a couple of people that I had knew that my friends of mine that were all working at Dubspot. I had a good rapport, so I was thinking like, hey, I know people that work there. Like, hey, we turned in my teaching application, and Dan. So when I found Dan finally again, he didn't accept the app. He basically was telling me like, oh, just see somebody else. He kind of brushed me off. So, so basically, the last convo that me and Excess had, I was talking to him about the fact that that Dan didn't just accept it. Like, 'cause it's one thing to accept the application and deny it, but to not accept it. And I didn't realize that I had already met Dan earlier, and the reason that my last convo with Dan was talking about Diplo and Diplo's racism, you know, so it's funny. It's just so much racism going on. And I was talking about Diplo's racism to Dan at like a loft party on McKibben Street years ago, I think. I think I had met Dan, and I didn't know that it was Dan. But yeah, so so I was coming after, I called out Excess, and people were acting like I was coming after him. So I wasn't coming after him. I don't come after people like that. I'm just trying to spread awareness. And shout out to Matt Ship. Shout out to Gralanja. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in periodically. But shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to John Swan. Alright, I'm clicking all the ways. I didn't realize I can click. I've never really done this stuff before. I don't use Instagram. And the reason I don't use Instagram is because, the second I started posting, tutorial videos on there, people started giving it dislikes. So I just totally stopped using Instagram. I'm like, this is stupid. It's just all trolls and fashion and stuff. And I'm more of a Facebook person because I'm more about science and the art form versus just pop culture. And I think Instagram's a great tool. Shout out to everybody that uses it, but I don't personally use it just because it's kind of devoid of science. I prefer like Pinterest or Facebook. At least Facebook you can find different things and different concepts. But so yeah, basically, so let's go back to where we go. So that was a tangent. So Excess was I had called out Dubspot for being racist back in the day, and now Dubspot's finally been exposed for being thieves and being stealing and stuff like that. There's all types of articles on it, and I'll load that up here. So I'll type Dubspot, see what happens first. First thing that comes up, you see the Dubspot. Now how a world-renowned DJ school fell apart. You see that? Popular DJ school Dubspot accused of scamming students. This is Vice. This is actually Vice saying this. So I'm going to cover this in the future. A whole expose on Dubspot itself and Dan and how all that stuff went down. But this is a whole other thing because people need to know about this stuff. So, Dubspot, so former students and teachers of the internationally renowned, pardon me, I'm going to sneeze. First time being sick in a year. Former students and teachers of the internationally renowned electronic music production DJ school Dubspot have accused the CEO, Dan, of fraudulent activities and erratic behavior. Shout out to Eric, who just joined. I'll do some rehashes so you can know what the things that I've been talking about. So let's go back to this. Former students and Eric's gone. Okay. Shout out Eric. Former students and teachers of the internationally renowned electronic music school, production and DJ school Dubspot have accused its CEO, Dan, of fraudulent activities and erratic behavior. Thump has learned in emails seen by Thump, over 55 students alleged that the school did not deliver the classes which they had paid for up front. In some cases, have not issued refunds. So a lot of people sued Dubspot. A lot of people were suing them. In the email, students complained of poor communication on the part of the school staff and classes being rescheduled multiple times. Students also said that when they did manage to go to class, there were often no instructors present because they themselves had not been paid their teacher's fee and refused to teach. So there was a lot of drama going on at the Dubspot. So back to where we're getting in. So Thomas, you're here. This is a message your brother sent me. So your brother sent me this message saying, so let me go back to the top. So this is let's go back here. So Thomas said nope. Let's see. So okay. So nope. This is only the winner for the national champ. Oh wait. So let's see. So here's what it says. Okay. So hey Ray, this is Thomas. This is for Eric. So this is your brother. He got back to me. I said, "Sup? When does IDA USA start?" Because this is going back to me saying Excess dropped the ball, where I had numerous turntablists attack me for saying that Excess dropped the ball. Like I was trying to, just come at him on some like beef type of stuff, which I'm not, because me and Excess go way back. Like I was saying, 20 years. I've known Excess. I know Excess from all the way back from Hop Fu. who here knows about Hop Fu? You know, that was a project by John Carluccio where he had Excess and IXL scratching to Kung Fu records. And oh, Thomas isn't related to you. Oh, I thought it was your brother. I thought you guys were family because you guys are both Kubik. I didn't know. Oh, sorry about that. I thought he was your brother. So for the record, yeah. So I'll edit that out. Yeah, that Thomas Kubik is not Eric Kubik's brother. I thought you guys were brothers this whole time. I thought you were brothers. I totally thought you guys were brothers because you had the last name and you were both, you know, in the turntablist thing. And I thought I had talked to both of you all at the same time once. But so yeah, basically, yeah. So let's get back to the point. I'm gonna flip this around. Okay, so you can see where we're at. So Thomas Kubik wrote me like, "Hey Ray, this is the World IDA, and the guys were not able to run IDA. So that's step one. That's what happened. And you know, and I had let's see, and then Excess is saying, first off, just want to thank Jake for Vekked Meyer for throwing a Canada USA IDA, Canadian and US qualifier." And for, let me give Armin a wave. Shout out to Mr. Armin Hollywood out of Berlin. We scratched a bunch together at a sample music festival a couple years ago. I might go there this year again. I might be at SMF again. I'm gonna talk to Alex. But let's see. So we'll see what Excess has to say. I'm gonna click see more. Oh, look at somebody saying Kim Lex and Ben are gonna smoke you. First of all, first round TKO, get your SHIT together and go to practice. Nobody ever won by typing. No, it's all funny. It's all abuse stuff. I don't mind that type of stuff. But I do mind this type of stuff. When, Jake has hundreds of friends and that's 76 likes of him calling me a effing idiot and calling me a delusional douchebag with a fragile ego and multiple lies. And we already pointed out his multiple lies for those of us who are just tuning in. But so first of all, I just want to thank Jake Vekked Meyer for throwing a Canadian and U.S. qualifier for and for Chrissy Z for running DMC all these years. Also, thanks to anyone posting constructive suggestions rather than just putting the blame on me. So he was looking at this as like I was blaming him, but no, I wasn't blaming him. I just said he dropped the ball. So like you're playing basketball, you drop the ball, and somebody, it's a turnover. And Jake picked it up, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so so let's see. So back to this. So IDA was an endeavor myself, Mo, and Entrix took on because there was no U.S. branch at the time. We wanted to give an opportunity for U.S. DJs to compete in the Worlds. As you can imagine, it was tough organizing the past 2 years, asking DJs to commit time. I lost my place. I looked away. Time to judging and getting prizes for finalists without having monetary support from sponsorship. Also, real life things happen, and other projects like the Forefront. Being an ITF champ, I hold DJ competitions in the highest regard, so it's not me dropping the ball or not caring. Would be great to see other notable DJs like Vekked, keep pronouncing his name wrong, like Vekked, and Don Paco take over US and Canada branches. Not really fair just to sit back and accuse if you're not giving back or doing something for the scratch DJ community yourself. So not giving back, it's not really fair just to sit back and accuse. So that's a whole other point. Excess is accusing me of just sitting back and not giving back to the DJ community, which I give back to the DJ community every day. Those who know TTM know that on a daily basis or multiple times a week, I'm constantly giving back to the community. I started an organization called the United Turntablist Guild that protects the rights of women and other DJs that aren't part of the top caste in our society, because our society is run in a caste system where European males are the top caste, and the DJ world does in fact reflect that. And we also got to look at why did Excess miss the why was he not able to do it? Where was Excess at the time? Excess was actually at a very amazing event, and I will type in that event. I'm going to type in Technics Orchestra or Technics maybe Symphony. So let's type that in. So I'm going to type Technics Orchestra, I guess. Technics Orchestra. So he wasn't able to be a part of the battle because he was in Dubai as part of the Technics Orchestra. So Technics has assembled the world's first turntable orchestra. This is another thing that I'm going to be talking about in the future. We're going to have I might do a short documentary on it about black DJs not being invited to mass scratch offs. Like in the past 2 years, not the past 2 years, in the past couple years, there's been the the Red Bull 40 DJ thing where they invited like maybe Craze. Maybe they might have invited. Maybe I'm gonna flip back. I think they invited Craze, maybe Jazzy Jeff, and then they invited I can't remember who else. But they didn't. There's hardly any women. And it's like Lady Style is an amazing DJ. Shout out to Lady Style. She's a French Tunisian, I believe, or maybe she's Algerian. I think she's Algerian. She's definitely African. And she's got hundreds of thousands of views. She can do all types of scratches. She can chirp, orbit. She's up there, and she wasn't invited to the Red Bull. She wasn't invited to the Red Bull 40 DJ competition. I mean, not competition, a 40 DJ like collaboration. It was like the world's first 40 DJs scratching in one cipher. It's like a 40 DJ cipher, basically, to put it. And it was amazing. I think it was an amazing event. But they only invited like 3 black DJs out of 40. So that's 3 over 40 mathematically. If you're going to look at that, 3 over 40, or maybe 4 over 40, 3 over 40, not many women. So I think that, to me, that I called it out way back for being, a little bit, not a little bit, but being, racially and gender biased. Obviously, women are 50% of the population. Obviously, turntablism is mostly a male thing now, but there's a lot of dope, women DJs, and her being in Europe, she would have been able to get there pretty cheap, because I can understand like, hey, we can't fly DJs from the U.S. to the 40 DJ battle, the 40 DJ cipher because logistically it's hard to pay for all those tickets, and it's easier just to get a lot of European DJs that are very close. But as far as the orchestra, yeah, I did call that out. And people came at me for that. Like, why are you calling that out? And it's like, hey, hip hop was started by Black Americans, and I'm not saying what I'm saying is that since it was started by Black Americans, it would be nice to have Black Americans still involved in it. And I think that it's a duty and responsibility to all the European and Asian diaspora DJs to include women and black people and other people, Indians, everybody into the mix, because right now, back to the point where I'm really trying to get to is more recently there was the Technics battle, and we're going to flip back to that. The Technics battle was a battle. I'm not a battle. I keep saying battle. The Technics cipher. They had an orchestra of a bunch of DJs, and it was only Caucasian and Asian DJs, and I was bringing up the point that, that's kind of racially biased, that, hip hop is, was created by, turntablism and scratching, was created by Grand Wizard Theodore, who's a, black male, and Grandmaster Flash, and, Disco King Mario. A lot of people leave out Disco King Mario. He was the first to have the B-boys dancing and dropping breaks to it, and he had a live drum set too. He was the drummer, or maybe his homie was a drummer. They had the drum, and they were all kids. Kids invented all this stuff. Kids invented hip hop because and we're also going to talk about the Sedgwick controversy too in the future. I've talked about it on my TTM show before, but we'll talk about it more in depth in the future and get into the details. I probably will actually go to the Bronx and actually interview Michael Wayne, and he has Michael Wayne TV. Michael Wayne TV is a pretty interesting source for information about Bronx history. But that being said, hip hop and turntablism came out of the Bronx and came out of youth DJs and stuff like that. A lot of youth gangs that weren't really gangs. I hate to say gangs, but they were more youth clubs that they thought they were superheroes and doing kung fu moves and stuff, and making abstract music. So basically, I called out the Red I called out the Red Bull cipher, and I called out the other cipher, the orchestra, the Technics orchestra. So we're going to go back to that. And we're going to go back to the Technics orchestra, and we're going to look this up. All right. So now this is the orchestra. So I was calling out that, it's cool. I mean, Technics is out of Japan, and it's a Japanese country, and we know that race relations in Japan aren't that great. Shout out to my homie Massive O that's moving back from Japan. He's been there for a couple of decades, and it's so racist he has to leave. He can't take it. I know a lot of people that have experienced things like that, in Japan. When I was in Japan, shout out to Busy P. This is another tangent. Shout out to Busy P and Justice, and for just winning the Grammy for best electronic music. And Busy P actually flew me out to Japan years ago, and I was filming out there. I was beginning a movie out there, and what I found there, this guy came up to me and spit at my feet. I was like, wow, even people talk about America being so racist, this and that. I've never had a Caucasian person come up to me and spit at my feet, but that happened to me in Japan. It was an old man that came up to me and just looked at me and spat at my feet, and I was just like, wow. But anyway, so we're gonna go back to this. I'm gonna talk about what Eric Kubik just said. He says, from speaking to Japanese DJs, the orchestra was to commemorate the first record recording in Japan. The guys got together, a big group of their peers, and asked a few guys who they had spent a lot of time with to join them. I don't think they were excluding anyone. Well, I was just talking about the fact that everybody is only Asian and Caucasian. Like, they did fly DJ Swamp from America, who's a European American DJ. And they did fly. They had he's a legend. It was only people with very light skin. It was only Asian, maybe some Filipino, and some and some Caucasian people. So yeah, what I'm saying is that black people were excluded from this clearly, and that's the truth. Is that they were excluded from this. And Technics is a very big company that's based out of Japan, and hip hop has made it popular, and and this is another example of of people using a black art form for their own financial gain and publicity, which is great. I'm not against capitalism, but I think there needs to be checks and balances within capitalism. I think it's but so this is proof. We're gonna go back to the Red Bull thing too. Because I've made the point that the Red Bull didn't really have black DJs, and then also the this Technics orchestra didn't really have black DJs. Now we're gonna type in. I'm gonna type in something else. I'm gonna type Red Bull. I'm gonna type Red Bull, and then racism. And I'm gonna do a whole nother expose that's more detailed in this, but this relates to this because he's trying to call, he's saying I'm trying to call him racist. Jake, back to the subject. This is pretty much about Jake and turntablists bullying me. I showed you examples of people bullying me and stuff like that, and just trying to diss me. But so look, so Red Bull racism, overcoming racism, a group of helps. So look, So notice they did this 2018 to try to cover up, try to be good now. Red Bull's blackface video stirs controversy. So the same people, so this is proof, I'm going to flip it around, the same people that brought you the 40 DJ cipher that only had 3 black DJs out of 40 DJs, that same cipher, that same company, they released a blackface video. Their board of directors said, hey, this is cool, let's release it. They approved it. It was one of their European chapters. It might have been, Austria or something. But, Red Bull's based out of Austria. And Red Bull, remember, so given that Red Bull is based out of Austria, we're going to have to talk about, them co-opting, them consciously co-opting, trying to corner the market on music intelligentsia, or because if you look up online, like, hey, you want to learn about, you want to see a great lecture on producing or whatever, you're going to find Red Bull. Red Bull has become the source for b-boy battles, for the DJ battles. They're taking on youth culture to serve their own economic gain, and to create more Red Bull soda drinkers, obviously, right? So but that mixed with the fact that they're coming out of Vienna with, I'm not going to say that they naturally have, I'm not going to say that that they're racist or anything, but this proves that they're racist. So I'm going to flip it around again, because it's not about me. So Red Bull blackface stirs controversy. So this is real. So Red Bull, we're going to read the first line. Red Bull is under fire for a video posted on its website featuring people in blackface. The footage shot during a Red Bull event in Moscow, where contestants launched themselves in flying machines on July 26, features a man in a President Obama mask and two others in blackface chasing a banana in front of a banner that reads Red Bull. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go back. All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna click back. So that's one article. Red Bull racist. Red Bull racism debate reigns with stunt with Obama impersonator. Red Bull under fire for race video showing blackface. Da 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 da. But now I'm gonna type Red Bull. I'm gonna put a space between Red Bull, and I spelled Red Bull wrong. That's funny, and I still found it. Red Bull, and I'm gonna type Red Bull CEO maybe, and maybe let's see, Red Bull CEO. I'm gonna type Red Bull CEO. This is him. Diedrich Mast is shits. Okay. I'm gonna type in racist. I'm gonna add racist to that keyword. So I'm gonna type racist. Red Bull CEO racist. Okay, so we can see that the CEO he's right wing. The CEO of Red Bull is right wing. Meanwhile, they're putting out b-boy battles and they corner the market. They have everything locked. They got the big DJ battles. They made the biggest cipher that anybody ever did, breaking all the records, supposedly going to space. Let's see. So, RA News criticizes Red Bull CEO for pro-refugee. Let's see. Yeah, so the Red Bull CEO criticizes pro-refugee policies. Let's see. Russia. Let's go back to this, because there's better articles on this, but I just don't think I typed in the best keywords, and there's bigger sites. So we see the Red Bull CEO has been. So the 17-year-old billionaire harshly criticized both Germany and Austria's policies on refugees. None of the people shouting "refugees welcome" or "we can do it" were preparing their own guest rooms or tents in their gardens to accommodate half a dozen migrants, he said. Matschitz, I guess, Matschitz, then condemned political correctness in the media, voicing his support for 45 and announced plans for a news outlet called forgive me all the Germans for me chopping this up, and I don't speak German. Nahir an die Wahrheit, close to the truth. He criticized a high-profile Belgian official for implying that countries with homogeneous cultures should vanish. Let's see. So yeah, he criticized implying that countries with homogeneous cultures should vanish from the face of the earth. So this person, this Belgian official said we need to integrate. They're trying to say it in like reverse terms, but the Belgian official is saying, hey, we need to integrate. So all this homogeneous culture stuff is racist. If you're not letting other people into your world, your country, you're being xenophobic. That's what xenophobic is. So we have proof here that Red Bull has released blackface. I might even use some of this for my Red Bull documentary, but Red Bull's released blackface. We have that proof, and we also have proof that this owner is anti-immigrant. So I'm gonna put Red Bull CEO. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna put immigrants. Because I put racist, and a lot of the articles they might not say racist. They might. I'm gonna put immigrants here. Maybe type paste that, and I'm gonna type immigration. Okay, they suggested it. Good. So this is Fader magazine. I remember when Fader started. The people at Fader, they gave me the first copy. I think it was Funkmaster Flex on the cover. I'm mad that I ended up throwing that copy away. And that first copy, it was Funkmaster Flex was on the cover, and it was only there wasn't like articles in it. It was just mad. It was weird. I was like, what is this? It was all advertisements with no articles. That was the first issue. Okay, so we're gonna go back. We're going in on Red Bull because this relates to Jake Jake saying I'm a effing idiot and I'm a delusional douchebag. The fragile ego saying that I'm calling him racist when I just said that he was when I said that he was contributing to cronyism. I didn't specifically say racism. Though I do think racism does exist within turntablism. Nothing is free from racism, and any turntablist that would like to say that is in Cloud 9. And I've noticed too that the European American DJs versus the European DJs, it's the European DJs attacking me more because they're not used to Black Americans speaking up and asking for justice and demanding civil rights and all that type of stuff. It's been in my experience that European DJs have told me like, oh, be quiet. There's nothing wrong with turntablism is equal. I'm like, no, I'm not seeing women getting gigs. I'm not seeing people with darker skin with African hair like my own, getting gigs. So let's read this article. So this the guy's 72 years old, Diedrich. So Red Bull has become much more than just an energy drink company. Over the past 2 decades, the Austrian company was held. The Austrian music company has held the electronic music-focused Red Bull Music Academy event series annually since 1998 and has built upon this cultural platform with radio programming, an exhibition space in New York City, and an artist residency in Detroit. Now, the CEO has announced a new independent venture of a right-wing news organization that is being compared to none other than Breitbart. Or Breitbart, or however you pronounce it. And we know who came from that. A lot of right-wing stuff. So in an interview with the Austrian newspaper Kleine Zeitung on April 8th, Mateschitz was critical of Germany and Austria's lenient policies on refugees, rallied against intellectual elites and political correctness, and expressed his support for Trump. He also announced plans for his new media platform, Closer to the Truth, which translates to Closer to the Truth. Mateschitz described the venture as a research platform and said it would operate independently from Red Bull. So you can see, the people say, oh, are they doing this for the love? No, they're just trying to get you to buy more drinks, and they're racist. We've shown them Red Bull supporting blackface, and so when I say that they didn't invite that many black DJs, we can clearly see that, there's other things that are tied to this. They've got a right-wing website, and they're showing blackface, and that's a lot of proof in itself. These are all receipts. This is why this would take me forever to try to put all these points in a documentary and have narration. That's why I'm doing it real time, because real time is a million times faster. As a filmmaker, it's like this is good. This is way better for me to be able to cut this all together when I make the YouTube version of this. But so yeah, we see right-wing news platform, and we see that with Red Bull. So Red Bull has cornered the market on hip-hop culture. If you are a b-boy and you want to get famous, the Red Bull battles are big. And they're cornering the market on youth cultures, and they're obviously not. They don't care about the youth. And I called that out, called out the racism within Red Bull and what's happening with the culture. And I got attacked for it. A lot of people attacked me. And I'm going to switch back to me. So yeah, a lot of people attacked me before that when for the past couple of years, I've been calling out racism within turntablism and within DJing in general, and sexism too, because women aren't getting gigs. The last festival I threw, I had 50% women, and I had 50% guys, and that was like 2009. I had like Maluka, I had like Ninja Sonic. And I made sure that I'm like, hey, I'm booking this festival. I'm gonna have, I can do 50-50, and I think that there needs to be quotas. That's why we started the United Turntablists Guild, so that we can have quotas and we can enforce it. And obviously that's, might take a long time for those type of things to happen in Europe, because they're behind the U.S. as far as race relations. And I'm gonna, a lot of people might disagree with me that, they're ahead as far as healthcare and things like that. Europe's a great country as far as healthy food and things like that. But, the last 2 times I was in Berlin, people, people gave me the swastika sign twice, and then there's this new thing where they give you the swastika sign, but then they try to make it like high five, like, yo, give me 5, like, give me 5, and they're giving you a swastika, but they're, saying, give me high 5. And I didn't know I could call the police. You can't call the police on somebody being racist in the U.S., but in Germany, thank God you can call the police. And next time that happens to me, I'm calling the police. Next time I'm in Germany and somebody gives me a swastika, I'm going to call the police. I didn't know I could. And then the second time it happened to me, I knew I could, but I was with a bunch of people, and I didn't want to, like, cause drama, and, like, we had to be somewhere. We were walking somewhere on the way to somewhere, and the guy gave me a swastika. So, and I was like, oh, I'm going to call the police, but, because, but I didn't do it. But next time I'm out there and that happens, I'm calling the police on people throwing me the swastika. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. So this is a real issue that I've been dealing with for years, and turntablists around the world have been, or just DJs around the world, and some musicians have been coming at me and trying to diss me, trying to say like, oh, I'm racist, I'm the bigot. Just it's a common tactic. It's a common tactic for bigots or people that are ignorant of racism, which makes them racist. A lot of times, they'll try to reverse things and use reversed psychology or just, it's a common or projection saying like, hey, I'm not the racist, you're the racist. So once again, we have, Jake Vekked trying to, let me see, close. I only got 5% of my battery, so I'm going to go get a charger. But I'm going to keep this on. We're going in. I'm going to go in like, I'll go in for 3 hours, 4 hours in this, because I'm going to, recut all this stuff and so it's for YouTube. So it's very clear. And I'm going to put the points, and you can see, where Jake's lied, and he's trying to publicly spear me. So that really hurts to see 76 people like, something that where it's lies. It's all lies. We've proven the lies through this video. For those who are just tuning in, once the video's finish, you'll be able to, go back and see the lies, and yeah, so basically, I've been calling out racism in the industry for years. Now, yesterday, I didn't say that. I didn't say, oh, Jake, you're being racist. This is what I said. I said, I said polarized cronyism. Okay? So we're going to go back to that polarized cronyism. We're going to go back to, I said, this is polarized cronyism. Okay, and cronyism, we went to the definition before. Cronyism is hooking your homies up, appointing friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard to their qualifications. So basically, I just called him out like that. This is all I said. I said, let's start the debate. You're dissing TTM, but you're also supporting when other people do TTM, and he's putting, I didn't even mention Emma Short T, and shout out to the real Short T. This is another issue. There's so many issues of all this weird shadiness and stuff going on. Shout out to the original Short T from Atlanta. Shout out to DJ Short T, like Short T and Faust, for those who really know, from Atlanta, DJ Short T, she's original Short T turntablist. There's a DJ Short T, and then Emma Short T came later and saying, hey, I'm DJ Short T, and she's also a turntablist, and shout out to both of them. But, Emma Short T, monetizes TTM and teaches it, and I think that's great, the teaching part, but meanwhile, it's sneak dissing me. So it's just like, so you're sneak dissing the creator of a mathematic notational system that people use all around the world, and somebody that's constantly trying to stick up for justice of other people and the rights of women, the rights of non top cast members, and and I'm getting attacked. So I'm taking a lot of this energy. And I showed you the post of Gurmit Singh Thindal, publicly defaming me. There's all these people that are trying to do that stuff, that are kind of reactionary to what I'm saying, and then we're going to go back to what Excess was just saying. We're going to flip back around. Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to Negro Clash. Shout out to Lindsay, Prince Language, and shout out to Dwayne. Me and Dwayne go right back to other music. I'm giving everybody waves. All right, round two. Round two. So this video. This is a scientific and a truth searching video to expose what Vekked Jake Meyer, the lies that he's been putting out. He just recently made a post basically dissing me, and spreading a lot of lies and falsehoods. So this is why I had to come on YouTube under Facebook to expose these lies. So there's a new post. So we're gonna show the post here. I'm gonna flip the camera back around. Shout out to everybody who's back in the house. Shout out to Luigi Sircut. All right. Shout out to Mr. Muhammad. Shout out to Walter Scratch, all the way in Cartagena, Colombia. On my gente out there. Shout out to everybody worldwide. Turntablism is a worldwide thing. And this is something that needs to happen. With Facebook and Instagram and all these things, there's all this clout chasing and people dissing each other and all that stuff. I'm not for that. The only time that I would ever, critique somebody is if it's like a scientific critique, a music critique, and I'm not against critiques, somebody critiquing me, but we're gonna flip this around. All right, and so we have here. This is the main subject. The main subject of this is that we have Jake Vekked Meyer spreading falsehoods and dissing me. So to all the new people who are just coming in, we're going to sum up what's happening. There's a lot of racism going on in DJ energy in general. A lot of inequality, also sexism. We've got I don't know if anybody's aware of it, but there's a whole new trend of stripper DJs, and we started the United Turntablists Guild to end discrimination in turntablism first, with the hopes that can spread later. So if we can create a turntablist union first, that we can demand, payment for battle winners. I've talked to Christy Z about this numerous times. Talked to many people about this numerous times. We can get payment for battle winners. We can get, more quotas within festivals and booking and things like that. More like Lady Style, like I was talking earlier. Lady Style wasn't invited to the Red Bull 40 DJ thing, and she's a dope turntablist who has hundreds of thousands of fans, and she's doing orbits and multi-click stuff and chirps, and she's hitting all this stuff, and nobody invites Lady Style to the Red Bull 40 DJ Cypher. And to me, that's sexist, and it's racist, and we already proved that Red Bull is racist. We just, in the last video, we showed I showed I'm so used to, speaking in other person's, like, for other websites. But, so I just proved that Red Bull, the owner is a right-wing person who just opened up a new right-wing website, and he also, they put out blackface. One of their Russian branches in Moscow put out a blackface thing with Obama, and it's just like, and that's Red Bull. That's who, right now there's some turntablists practicing somewhere in some country that's like, one day I'm gonna win Red Bull 3 style. And I won't even compete in Red Bull 3 style just because they're racist. But I wouldn't compete in it anyway because it's more of a party rocking thing, and I'm specifically just focused on scratching right now. I'm gonna start juggling, maybe a couple years from now. But I really want to master my scratches first and get my other hand, popping too. So shout out to all to like EPROM, all the double-handed DJs. I actually said the wrong name before when I was talking about EPROM. I meant to say EPROM. As far as being able to scratch with both hands, I think he's really on the forefront of a lot of stuff, of being able to scratch with both hands, and do high quality scratches with both hands. Also precision too.
And this, that brings up another point. Precision's, black turntablists, John Swan, and there's a bigger thing that I'm talking about. Shout out to, all these DJs logging in. Michael Dundee, he's a dope DJ. Known him for decades. Black turntablists we've gotten boxed out of our own industry that we created, and I'm not an anti-capitalist. I'm pro-capitalism with restrictions. I think capitalism needs checks and balances, but within turntablism, there's no quotas, there's no unions, there's no and same with hip hop. And we can see where hip hop's gone with Melly and all these serial killers and. Everybody just, it's a very sick path that, meanwhile, hip hop, the pop hip hop is co-opted by corruption and debauchery, and black people are labeled with corruption and debauchery and killing and thoughtism and all these stupid things. Meanwhile, when you go to hip hop intelligentsia, who runs hip hop intelligentsia? Red Bull. And for the people just tuning in, shout out to Lisa Harris. We're going to do a quick little, I tried to just touch the Mac screen like it was a touch screen. That's kind of funny. I'm so used to touching like touch screens and all that stuff. This is DubSpot scamming students. But let me go to so Red Bull CEO reportedly launches a right-wing news platform. Red Bull criticizes pro-refugees. So he's, there was a person that said, we'll go back to that. This is for the people just coming back in. This is the CEO of Red Bull. And, so he's a 72-year-old billionaire who said that, we shouldn't be helping refugees, and he disagrees with the idea that countries with homogenous cultures should vanish. He's saying that, because a Belgian official said that we need to integrate. So this is like a reverse way of saying, like, this Belgian official said, hey, we need to integrate, we need to have countries that have diverse populations. This 72-year-old, you got to remember, 72 years old. When was he born? What was going on 72 years ago? What kind of, he's coming from the same, country as Hitler. And I know a lot of Europeans are afraid to talk about Hitler, but I'm going to have to, talk about, if we're going to talk about the Habsburgs and the Habsburg Empire following the Turks and whatnot, if you want to get into the history of all that, the Habsburgs, started all of this, the extreme, race-based. I'm not gonna say they started, because obviously there's a caste system that was earlier in India that was a colorism, race-based thing. But there's a lot of racism going on within hip hop culture in general, because the people that started hip hop don't really own it, and so you turn on the radio, it's ignorant, it's black stereotypes on TV, like thoughts and gangsters and killers, and then they do it in real life, like Melly, like I was saying. And then you go to a DJ battle, and who's it run by? The DJ battle is run by this guy. This is the head of the Red Bull DJ battle. And so that's just one quote, him being xenophobic. But yeah, you could say he's allowed to be xenophobic, maybe. Maybe some people say that's not racist. Some people think xenophobia is not a form of racism, but it obviously is. Xenophobia is a form of racism. And then we're going to go to the blackface thing right here. Look, where's the blackface? See, they don't even have it here, like immigration. Let me type blackface. This is for the new people. We'll do a little recap. We're going to do a lot of circular recaps because people are, screaming and skipping and scrolling. So maybe they come in and out, or new people come in. So I'm going to type black face Red Bull. I'm going to take away the CEO. Red Bull's blackface video stirs controversy. Time Magazine, 2015. Okay, so Red Bull is under fire for posting a video on its website featuring people in blackface. The footage shot during a Red Bull event in Moscow, where contestants launched themselves in flying machines on July 26th, features a man in a President Obama mask and two others in blackface chasing a banana in front of the banner that reads Red Bull. Alright, so now I'm going to type in Red Bull. I'm going to type in, so we're going to go on a little journey. Type Red, I'm so glad the phone is plugged in now, so I don't have to worry about it cutting out. So Red Bull, let's see, I'm going to type Red Bull 40 DJs. So Red Bull was the first, just like how they say they were the first to go in space and have the guy launch. For their company to make money, they're trying to corner the market of all these different industries. So they're trying to corner the market of b-boying, of turntablism. So world's biggest 40 DJ scratch circle, Red Bull 3 style. And we're gonna go to that, and we see that we're gonna click on it.
Cameras rolling, we're going ahead.
And this is cool. We got legends here. We got Jeff. They show, that they're giving respect due to creators. But I critique them that, out of all the DJs, there's not that many black DJs, and there's not that many women. We're gonna look at this, and we're gonna see that there's no women here. There's Lady Style has Lady Style has more fans. She's a dope. Lady Style is a turntablist from Algeria. She's a French Algerian. Maybe she's Tunisian. I think she's Algerian. And she's sick. But she's a black woman and she's not getting any credit. The turntablist community is totally, I never see people posting Lady Style stuff. They're just like, oh yeah, she's whatever, but so we can see that this is, that outside of Jazzy Jeff and maybe DJ Craze, who are both cash cows, and I'm gonna type in cash cow for those who don't know what cash cow means. We're gonna do cash cow, CASHCOW, cash cow. So a cash cow is a business, investment, or product that provides a steady income or profit. Traditionally, cash cows like VCR. So let's look at Wikipedia cash cow, and we're going to talk about cash cows. So what I'm saying is that they're using black DJs as cash cows. Like how you might make a flyer, and if you're a promoter and you want to get famous, what people do is, before we talk about cash cows, we'll talk about this. If you're, it's always been a thing that promoters do, where especially people that are promoter/artists, you book an artist that's bigger than yourself, so that you can associate your name with that artist, so that your name will become bigger. Now, and since that's a cash cow, because you're cashing in on their fame, so you can be an opener for the show. So let's say you're a DJ or a musician, and you want to get a little bit more famous, you want to get more fans, then you can say, hey, well, let me save up $2,000 and pay, this artist to do this show, and I'll pay them the $2,000 and then do the show. So that's what, cash cow can be used in a lot of different ways. So cash cow can be used for, a festival or promoting, so name recognition, or cash cow could be in a situation like this, where I'm talking about, where they're using people's names like Jazzy Jeff and Craze, like they've got their two black artists, but then no more black artists. Like maybe there was one other black artist out of 40 DJs, but that's a big ratio, 3/40. 3/40 is kind of to me is a disrespectful percentage of DJs in a 40 DJ cipher. That's supposed to be like a world record breaking 40 DJ thing, and given that hip hop, turntablism and all that was created by black people, like Grandmaster Flash. We've got, like I was saying before, Disco King Mario, Grand Wizard Theodore, all these people. As far as turntablism, even Herc, as far as dropping and all that type of stuff. All the DJs that were there, originally, Grandmaster Flowers, and so that's kind of a slap in the face, and we see that Red Bull's racist. Red Bull, they have blackface, right? So we proved all the points, we saw the Red Bull blackface. We saw the Red Bull's owner, the 72 CEO, who's from Vienna, from the Habsburg Empire, and we just saw him basically say he doesn't believe that countries should be heterogeneous, because a Belgian official said that he thinks that we need to increase heterogeneous cultures, meaning blending people, having people from all around the world being involved. And so, as we can see, we proved that in these two videos that Red Bull is co-opting youth culture, which black culture is a subset of that in their mind. So they're seeing like, hey, this is hip hop stuff, youth people like it, let's take that and control it and monopolize it. Because if you go to lectures, if you go to New York, the biggest hip hop lecture circuit is Red Bull. The biggest lecture circuits and all those things, it's all Red Bull. And another example is like this: is like Cannibal Ox, for instance. They interview LP, like, oh, this is a Red Bull lecture of LP and how genius he is, and LP's dope. I'm a big fan of LP. I got a lot of LP vinyl in my crate, but also Vast Air and Vortal are also dope. And you notice that Vast Air and Vortal, you don't hear about them. And why don't you hear about them? Well, they're black males, and that's what I'm saying. There's black males within hip hop and turntablism, DJing, rapping. There's a lot of animosity being directed. There's a lot of suppression, and there's a lot of things going on, and I have to call it out. So this video is mainly about Jake Vekked Meyer trying to come at me and call me. We're gonna flip it around. All right. He's saying the TTM notation is dope. For those who don't know, TTM is a system of music notation for DJ music that I invented in 1999, and I've been refining ever since then. So I've been working on TTM for 20 years. I was young when I started. So the creator of TTM is an effing idiot and just got himself blocked. And then he spits a bunch of lies saying he didn't judge a battle, and we show the proof that he judged the battle and he made the whole battle happen. And so just putting out there this case that he wants to think. So he's a delusional douchebag with a fragile ego. So this is to expose Jake lying and publicly trying to smear me. And look, and all these 76 people are loving it. And the thing is that this does have a racial element. Even though yesterday my post said nothing about race, I said, Jake Meyer, let the debate begin. So I noticed you dissed my work, the periodic matrix of scratches, in articles years ago. Now you love TTM. Please explain. That's all I said. Because when you type in, we're going to type it in again. We'll type in periodic matrix of scratches. We're going to type periodic matrix of scratches. And when you type periodic matrix of scratches, what comes up first? What comes up first, besides these pictures on here, is an article by Emma Shorty. Not to be confused with the original turntablist Short T from Atlanta. Emma Short T is a turntablist from the UK who's been, releasing, TTM tutorials using my mathematic notation system for DJs, which I think is cool to teach other people. But they put an article out dissing it, choosing not to learn scratches. So they're like, oh, this is too much. This is just stupid, And Jake. I put Jake's quote yesterday saying, here's his quote. He says, "Don't really see this is Jake. Okay, this is Jake Vekked Meyer saying, don't really see a ton of use in having 1,000 patterns you've never heard before and learning them. Like, the possibilities of patterns are literally endless. You can draw a sine wave and just start putting dots all over and end up with new patterns. I just feel like the TTM matrix is trying to replace what people should do with their imagination. I don't just see much use in something like this personally. I have so many combos and patterns in my head already that aren't refined that I learned them from just freestyling and making stuff up. I don't know why I need a huge page of ideas someone else wrote down. I already have years of stuff I could practice at any given time. That came from my own brain." Vekked. Okay, so I said in response to that, I was like, wow, so you paid, because he had just bought a new book that uses TTM notation within the book that my homie Daniel RK wrote, and I think it's a cool book. And he bought the book, and I saw him. He posted. So this picture that was taken down was him posting the book that he got from Daniel DJ Chile. And so I'm like, so you put money for a TTM work while dissing the creator of it. Also, your quote pops up first in Google searches. What's up with that? So let's go back to that quote. Let's go back to where they're dissing TTM. So they're dissing TTM in here. This is his statement. But look what happens when you click home. They're dissing TTM. I'm going to click home. This is Emma's page. We can see her bread and butter is TTM. Her bread and butter is TTM, and they're dissing it. So this is so they're dissing something and then meanwhile making money from it, and the person that they happen to be dissing is a black male. And I didn't say anything about me being a black male yesterday. I just said that I'm going to go back to the statement. I just said that there's polarized cronyism going on. So I said, I alerted my homie Charles Jones Jr., who's also dope black male turntablist, and I said, this is what I'm talking about as far as the polarized cronyism that's taking place in turntablism these days. Shouts to Daniel, da da da. So so back to this. So he's saying. So he says today he turns it up more and overtly insinuating that. Let me see. It's getting blurry. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. So insinuating that I'm racist. So today he turns it up more and posts more overtly insinuating that I'm racist. So now he's gone because F that. Just putting this out there in case there's anyone who thinks there's anything to what he's posting other than being a delusional douchebag with a fragile ego. So we have him, harass. Publicly, just dissing me. I've never publicly dissed him. And we're gonna go to more receipts, more proof. We're gonna go to let's see, DJ Raedawn, if I could find it up here. Let's see, is this it? Is it this it? No, that's not it. This is it. So this is proof that look at me. This is me. This is IDA 2013, and me as a judge, and this is me judging Vekked. Gave him 8.5. So I'm part of the turntables community. I'm a positive guy. I don't just come out to diss people and try to get clout, or whatever. Like, I'm not a part of that whole clout chasing type of world or whatever you might want to call it. But I do speak out when I see injustice or inequality. So look, so you can see I made all my judging and scores public. This is totally public, and these a lot of cool turntablists on here. You can see. I've been a fan of Vekked from the beginning. For a long time, ever since this is probably when I first found out about him when I judged this. Basically, so he came at me, and then we're gonna go to then Excess came at me. I'm like, wow, all these people coming at me. Where's Success coming at me? Let me find it. No, it's not that one. Let's see. Maybe it's on. I'll close this window. Yeah, so the Excess coming at me. Let me see. Where is it? Well, I'll find that later.